October 30, 2017 John Dennen October 30, 2017 John Dennen James DeGale has forgiven promoter Frank Warren. The Eubanks, not so much. He speaks to John Dennen James DeGale has forgiven promoter Frank Warren. The Eubanks, not so much. He speaks to John Dennen. Don't miss any action. Sign up for the free BN newsletters here. James DeGale is entering a new phase of his career. He's had a significant operation to repair his right shoulder and will now defend his IBF Super Middleweight Championship on December 9 at the Copper Box in London. The injury meant a potential clash with Callum Smith could not take place earlier this year. I was going to fight Smith. I thought, just let me get through this. That's the kind of mentality I have, but I'm so glad I didn't, because it wouldn't have got better. When they went in, I had a tear around my shoulder, 180-degree tear around it. My AC joint needed stabilizing and I had a tear in my rotor cuff. My shoulder was F. For a year and a half I was boxing, sparring, one-armed. I'm a right-handed southpaw. Everything comes off my front hand. I couldn't double jab, no way. I throw a little jab. I couldn't hook off my jab. I like jabbing, hook off my front hand. I couldn't do none of that, DeGale told Boxing News. This homecoming is significant for DeGale. He has left Eddie Hearn, his promoter in recent years, to reunite with Frank Warren, the man who guided his early professional career, before they went their separate ways. James reflected, it wasn't difficult. The parting was bitter, but it wasn't difficult because you live and you learn. You forgive, you don't forget, but you do forgive. I've always liked Frank because Frank's old school. He reminds me of my granddad. Frank is old school. He was the first person to show people how it's done. It's a one-off deal for this fight, but the relationship could continue. If I'm happy, Frank's happy, BT are happy, I see no reason why we can't move forward and keep working together, James said. December 9 will be DeGale's first world title fight in his London hometown. The return means a lot to him and he thinks he will be well received. Before I won my world title, I got a lot of haters, I got criticized a lot. I think people saw that I worked hard, I boxed very well against a solid opponent and they started to give me the kudos and the respect, he said. Victory will set him up for a major 2018. DeGale wants to unify world titles, then take on the winner of the World Boxing Super Series. He'd like to tackle WBC Super Middleweight champion David Benavidez early next year. That's an easy fight to be made, DeGale said. April, May, against Benavidez, that's what I'm hoping. Frank's talking about stadiums and that, or there's the possibility I go back to America as well, he continued. We want a big name, a big unification fight and I want the winner of the Super Series. I'm in a win-win, if it's George Groves, Chris Eubank or Smith. DeGale would relish a clash with Chris Eubank Jr. I want Eubank, because he runs his mouth, he thinks he's too good. He ain't really beat no one, he's getting carried away with beating that punchbag, James said. The guy's a donut. Him and his dad are idiots. They've pulled out of 2 fights, 2 box office fights he pulled out of. It's just really sad, they're idiots. Until he starts beating people. DeGale has a long-standing rivalry with George Groves, who defeated him in the amateurs and also as professionals in a 2011 British title fight. There's always that fight out there, the issue's always there. And Smith, DeGale grinned. Trust me, there are some big fights out there. Read more articles by John Dennen.